Hey, nice to have you guys here. We'll go on and get started. There might be some still people headed back from lunch, but the majority of everybody should be back. So I know you guys have seen him before. We have Dave Granillo here. He is a specialist in helping bridge the gap between military service and civilian success in recruiting. He's led veteran recruiting programs and force strategy initiatives, and he's passionate about helping you guys find jobs. He's also a Marine Corps veteran. So we're super happy to have you here today, Dave.
Hey, happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure. Do you have a presentation or do you just want to start out with some questions?
I know typically the last time we started off with questions from your guys' end, and I'd love
Okay.
to have Meyoka kind of lead those questions. I know the group's heard from me before, but I think
Yeah.
Meyoka's story and her transition and her recently moving over to our company and her wealth of knowledge, I think will really help the group.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, welcome, Meyoka. We're super happy to have you. Tell us about
Thank
yourself.
you. All right. So I was a 27-year, 11-month, and 20-day Air Force veteran. I retired as a chief in the Air Force. I actually retired on the 1st of June. Thank you, Xavier. I retired on the 1st of June this year, and I have transitioned okay, and I have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to transition because there's stuff that I thought that I knew, um, things that TAPS kind of prepared me for. However, it was not the best preparation. So I have answers for questions as well as assistance to you guys that if you wanted to have any questions or if you wanted to ask me questions, or let's get out there and get it going.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations on your retirement. 27 years is impressive. That is amazing. What do you think was one of the biggest lessons that you learned on your way out? Because I'm not sure if you know, but everyone in here, or the majority of everybody in here, is transitioning right now. So they're going through what you went through this year, and we all know how little TAPS helps with all of that.
Absolutely. So I will say TAPS didn't. It was a good start to preparation. I wish I had prepped a little bit further out. I decided to retire, 12 months out. I wish I had started planning like 2 years out, right?
Mm.
Um, I ran airports for a living, so I was an airfield manager for the Air Force, and so I was kind of abreast of what things that were coming down the pipe or things that were changing. But of course, this is like an odd year for everybody, right? Um, I was prepared, but not totally. So the things that I wish I had known then was to not trust what you hear from other people who have transitioned because those processes may have changed. Um, by the time that it's time for you to transition. I also did Skill Bridge. So this is kudos to everybody on that. I had friends that actually retired and separated, and they didn't have the opportunity to try to get things going. So this is kudos to you guys to taking your career into your hands and trying to make sure that you're better set up on the way out. So I do see a hand up.
Yeah, Tim, go ahead.
Hi, how's it going? Thanks for coming to talk to us. So, since you are a recent retiree, within
Mhm.
the last 5 months, 6 months, I figured I would ask some of these questions. Like, how long did your final paycheck take to get sorted out? Like, I've heard uh, mixed things with that, so just figured I'd ask that right off the bat.
Okay, so I will tell you that was something that I was not prepared for either, because Uncle Sugar lied to me. So one of the things that did take a little bit, depending on your rank. So that was my FSS actually warned me, like, hey, you're a chief, and it actually took me maybe 10 days, but I have seen it take up to 6 weeks. So I did have a troop that separated, and they separated from service, and it took them about 6 weeks to get their money. So just make sure that you don't have any debts prior to uh, your final month in service. So prepare yourself because you don't get and you'll get the 15th paycheck, but you won't get the first of the next month, like the end of month paycheck. That is the one that'll be the one that's late. So that is something to look into. So just make sure that you're prepared. Another thing that I was kind of told as well. So if you are separating, we're dropping dreams, y'all. So if you're separating and not retiring, your state may authorize you guys to be able to get unemployment effective your date of separation. So if you are separating, start the process for an unemployment check, and it's based off of your rank when you get out of the military. So that is something that is a nest egg for people while you transition out as well. So you do qualify for those unemployment programs as well.
Well, that is insane. I've never heard that before. That is so
Neither
cool.
had I.
I heard the unemployment once before, and then VA benefits I know can take a few months, but I think everyone knows that takes time. But the last paycheck was the thing that I knew would be educational for the group.
Absolutely, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Tim. Lauren, did you have your hand up?
I did, but I'm just gonna ask Minnesota and see what they say. Just because I'm wanting to stay over here in Germany, so I don't know how that unemployment works if I'm trying to stay overseas, and if it only qualifies when I'm trying to stay stateside. So I have to ask them and see how that works.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, that's very unique.
Yes, it is. That is very unique. So, I see another person.
Yep, Rachel, go ahead.
Hey, yeah, I just had a question, and this kind of might be out of purview, but any recommendations filing your BDD claim, or if you did file a BDD, and then timelines on that?
And I got my answer pretty quick. So stay on your information, right? So I always tell people, I had started this prior to getting out. One of the biggest things, I don't know if you guys, I don't know how the other service branches do it, but in the Air Force, we have a form. It's like your safety form, right? So everyone has like all of the hazards of your job, and it highlights all the hazards of your job. I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you guys make sure that information, correct, Form 55. So make sure that your information is 100% updated in your Form 55, because that could be substantiating documents for your BDD claim if they ever need anything to say that you're exposed to hazards. So that's one tip that I am making. Like I ended up telling my entire career field to actually start doing, making sure that our BDDs actually capture everything that we were exposed to, right? Exactly. That's a substantiating document, Travis. The BDD, make sure you stay on your medical appointments. Don't cancel your medical appointments. Stay on that kind of stuff. Make sure your civilian doctors' records and things of that sort. Make sure that you guys keep copies of it. Keep it digitally, but also keep an actual physical copy of it. What I did prior to getting out was I bought myself an external hard drive, and I just saved every single thing. And I have a folder that's dedicated directly to the issues that I had. Hang on one sec. Let me see here. I saw someone put something in the chat. Even if you haven't been to the doctor yet for it to put in your BDD claim. Yes, everything that's wrong with you, even if you have not been to the doctor, make sure that you bring it up during your BDD. Make sure the information is correct. And make sure that information is captured when you actually file your claim. You'll end up doing medical appointments to substantiate your issues. But again, that Form 55 or whatever the branch service form is, could also be something that substantiates that you're exposed to certain things. So,
okay.
I'll jump in there real quick as well. Just because I went through this in the last year as well, and I think there's so much things for the veterans as you transition out with the BDD claim. So diagnosis is a huge one. When you pull up MHS Genesis, you pull up your old documents, you want to look at what you've been diagnosed for. So many times we've went to the doctor and we got seen for a lower back injury or knee injury, but there's not a diagnosis. Presumptive, if you're doing a BADD, it's always presumptive, right? So because you're exiting the military, it's coming from the military. So that portion's easy. The portion that's hard is to have the diagnosis in your record if you do not have it. If you look up in MHS Genesis, you could go in, open up active problems, and it'll show you what your quote unquote active problems. And that's where you can see and make sure everything's at. You have to make sure everything's well documented. Yes, you could put in, and everybody don't hold back on things, put everything in. But a lot of veterans get frustrated because they're like, well, I've had knee problems, I've had ankle problems. I put them in on my BDD claim. but it wasn't approved. Was not approved because you needed a diagnosis. So I've worked with a couple of companies out there that specifically do this for veterans as they transition out. And that's one of the biggest things we see is the lack of diagnosis, lack of paperwork. Also, most VSOs will tell you you do not need statements. Because you're leaving active duty service, you don't need a statement, no need to write a statement. I will tell you that as I transitioned out and I did research, I wrote my own personal statements for ailments that I felt were significant enough that it needed more clarification on. So if it was knees and I was seen for knee pain, no big deal. But if I had a shoulder separated, if you have a TBI and you want to go in detail where that TBI happened during deployments through McMap, whatever martial arts programs your service uses, those statements also are a proof document that they're reviewed at. So you're looking at medical records exactly. You're looking at disabilities. As you file the claim, you always want to reference back to that. They need to be in your record at some point. And there is secondary claims and things that you could submit after the fact, but really the best time to get it is as you're processing out with the BDD. That is your number one time you don't want to hold back. The other thing is it's 180 days to 90 days. You want to submit as close to the 180-day mark as possible, not the 90-day mark. So for me, I was blessed. I got my answer a day after I separated from the Marine Corps. So, my actual separation date was the 31st. On the 1st, I got my results for the VA. I submitted my stuff 180 days, like right at the 180-day mark, was able to get my CMP exams, was able to go through everything. The last thing I'll tell you is look at the CFR 38. That is the rating, what the VA uses to rate you. And that really gives you the entire diagnosis, the percentages you'll be rated at, and then what they're going to look at. Got to look at that because an example of that is the back. Your back pain, people are like, I've had back pain for years. I've had slip disc. I've had this. I've had that. But for back specifically, they go on how far you can bend forward and bend back. People don't tell you that. And typically in the military, whether you're in the Air Force, Army, Marine Corps, Navy, we push through our pain. So when they tell you, hey, bend forward, you're bending as far as you can bend. You should stop as soon as you have pain, right? And that's the things that a lot of us aren't doing when we transition out, and then we have those issues. So I definitely wanted to leave you guys with that. I know this isn't for the VA specifically, but I think without giving you guys that, I would be kicking myself in the rear.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you guys sharing the insight. Like you said, even though this one isn't for the VA, you guys are getting out in this last year have a lot of helpful insight that all these guys are looking for. So I appreciate you guys sharing it anyway.
Yeah, definitely, Kylie. And I don't know if you still have questions for Meyoka, or if you want to transition into some of her transitioning, like what she's gone through, her current position right now, the training that's led up to that.
That's what I would love to get into. That was my next question. I kind of wanted to ask more about your skill bridge, Meyoka, how that happened, and then how you ended up at the assurance group and where you're at now. Kind of give us that story.
Absolutely. So I decided that I didn't want to go and run airports for a living just because of the amount of stress that we typically have to deal with, right? So I did my skill bridge through the Allegiant Vets. I went through Allegiant Vets for my skill bridge program. And in the skill bridge program, I actually saw David. and they spoke about insurance, and it played to what I really wanted to get into. So a little bit about my backstory. So in 2020, my stepdad was one of the first people in my city where I'm from to pass away from COVID. He was actually the 10th death in the city of Shreveport from COVID. And my family at the time was trying to figure out how they were going to pay. And then my mother was like, oh my God, I forgot I had this insurance policy on him. A little bit about my mother. My mother, she was a sheriff at that time. My mother was in her 60s. She's a sheriff. And she ended up using the insurance money, one, to pay for my stepdad's death, which was a little bit more elevated because of COVID. They were trying to figure out how to bury them and how, like, was it hazmat and that sort of stuff. So we had to pay like a lot more situations, a lot more bills than what we typically would have to do at the funeral, right? And so with that, I see how having that insurance money having that insurance policy, that advancement for my mother, she was able to go ahead and retire like she should have been able to do all along. And then it kind of made my family's life a lot easier. My mother is a lot happier now, like she's not stressed out about finances and things of that sort. And so for me, I want to help other people. And I think that was what it played to, hearing them talk about how the insurance policies, it's not just insurance, right? It's assurance, making sure people have no stress when it comes to something that's inevitable, like, a person passing away, ensuring that people have insurance policies. And so that was something that I wanted to be a part of. So right after I retired, I couldn't remember the name of the company that I had saw on SkillBridge. And I had to reach back out to Allegiant Vets and get the information for the assurance group. They reached out to me. They helped me go through training as far as getting my state certification. And now they're working on updating their training program to make it, honestly, it's very familiar when it comes to how the military trains. It's very structured, it's very organized. And it's also allowing me the opportunity to still give back to the community, even though I'm not wearing a uniform. And so that is how I am with the assurance group right now.
I feel like being in the insurance world is such an underrated way of helping people. Like people think, oh, I want to help people, I want to do some good, and I don't think insurance is the first thought. So I love that you're bringing light to that, and like having a real meaning behind working insurance and what it really means, rather than just getting people insurance.
Honestly, it takes away the stress from people. So fun fact, something that I have learned recently is there are more people over the age of 65 than there are under the age of 19 right now. And so that means we're going to have quite a few people who are going to pass away. And we don't want to have families and people be stressed out about stuff, and it's not just insurance. So we also do annuities, financial investments and things of that sort. So it's not.
Oh, I think you muted yourself. Uh-oh.
She may have froze off, I think.
Yeah, she was a bit spotty earlier, so maybe her internet might be going a little in and out. We'll give her a second. Oh.
All right.
Okay.
Well, she'll probably log back in.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
could take the time to talk a little bit about the assurance group, and then maybe she'll be able to jump back in when she gets her connection.
Yeah, I would love that.
Sorry.
Oh, there she goes.
Okay, we hear you, but we don't see you yet. Let's see.
If she's having internet issues, if she turns her video off, that can help.
I don't know if you heard that, but you could try.
What I'll do, Meyoka, I'll talk a little bit about the assurance group in a whole, and we'll see if you're able to come back online for us.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm here.
All right. So I do have a PowerPoint slide deck that I could, present. Kylie, I typically prefer more open communication, kind of talk about it and go through the role. But it does kind of allow us to directly, let everybody know where we're coming from, what we're focused on, and then it'll allow questions, a little more time afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely want to learn more, so I'd love that.
All right. Let me share this for you. All right. Are you able to see it?
Yep.
Well, I know we had a great introduction. Meyoka's been talking. I've talked a little bit. Excited to be here and talk to each of you, not only about the transition and the process that each of us went through, but some of the opportunities that are out there for each of you. I think right now, more than ever, jobs are just so scarce, and what we do is really changed. Several years ago, everybody was looking at doing tech and looking at doing cyber, and that's really drastically changed over the years with AI coming aboard. Mass layoffs across the nation, but veterans seem to continue to rise and continue to do extremely well. And it's because of programs like Seven Eagle, introducing you like companies like myself. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the assurance group, what we focus on, how we work, and then it'll allow each of you to see the opportunity, and maybe it's for you and maybe it's not. So with the assurance group, we're a very large scale company. We're across the nation. We were founded in 1988. Right now, this is our headquarters office in Archdale, North Carolina, where we have 125 full-time employees. At any given time across the nation, we have 600 active career agents, with 24 brick and sticks offices across the nation that may be very located next to you. Something to know is in 2024, we had over $300 million in sales as an organization. So when you look at that amount of income that we were able to produce with only 600 active agents, that really tells you that our platform is doing extremely well across the nation. Within that time, this is our integrity partnership that we have. This shows locations throughout the nation where we're located. We have some areas that we're located that are also not on the map. So if you find this interesting, you don't see your location here on the map, still reach out. We may actually have expanded to that area recently. Now, what is it we do? Meyoka talked a little bit about helping people, focusing on people, helping relieve some stress. What we do is our core product lines are Medicare Advantage and Medicare. So everybody, 65 and over has to have Medicare, but not everybody has somebody there to support them through the process of signing up. Or when they do sign up, maybe they're not in the right policy. Maybe they're paying more than they should, right? So we come in, we sit down, we're able to support that community and really help them there. Final expense insurance. I'm sure each of you throughout some time have seen people on the corner of the road doing GoFundMe. Somebody has passed away in their family and they can't afford the funeral and burial needs, right? Not everybody's as blessed as military members and some of the other people who have life insurance for that to be taken care of for them. A lot of people, when this happens, it's a detriment to their family. And that's where final expense insurance comes in and helps cover funeral and burial needs. Ordinary and traditional life insurance, once again, back to us. I mean, I would tell you that I was spoiled in the military. We had life insurance. I didn't really have to think about it for my family, right? It was just a given thing to us. But hopefully each of you, as you transitioned out, you started looking at that already. As we talked about the BDD claim prior, is something nobody told me prior was like, get life insurance right now before you exit the military, because once you exit and you have all your VA claims in and you've done your BDD and they tell you all these things that are wrong with you, or you're telling everybody what's wrong with you at the VA, that's now all documented. Your life insurance is a lot more expensive. So, that's another plug for you guys, not for our company, just in general, is look for life insurance now before your claim's finalized, because it will be more expensive once your claim's finalized if you have certain disabilities. We also do annuities and ancillary health products. Now, with that, I talked about 1988, when our CEO started this from his home, Ed Shackelford, and he's really grown to the monster that it is today, being able to help thousands and thousands of Americans, help them with their life insurance. Also be able to employ veterans. In this last year, we've been able to employ over 40 veterans across the nation. I was brought in my transition, which I'll touch a little bit about, was for that, right? To bring veterans in. I was a member of Allegiant Vets as well. I was going through the skill bridge process. I was meeting with potential employers, and really, due to my background, I was a perfect fit to come in and talk to veterans like yourself and give them an opportunity to make multiple six figures, control your own destiny, work in your hours that you set for yourself, something that we just don't have the opportunity to do while we're in service. Now, another thing that really spoke to me, and will probably speak to a lot of you, is our core principles. This wasn't something adopted when I was hired or brought on. This is something that Ed Shackelford, the CEO, really stood on. It's integrity, respect, appreciation, ownership, excellence, and compliance. These are things that are our core principles and our foundation. So if you chose an opportunity to talk with me more, you're going to hear about how this is really the building block of what TAG stands on. And you're going to come to an organization that has great veteran support, but just in general supports our agents across the board. And we're doing what's right at all times. Now, here's our TAG senior team, our leadership team that ranges from across the nation. I won't go into each individual, but I will tell you, you have over probably 1,000 years of experience here throughout all the leaders. Different walks of life, different companies across the nation. You're going to have people that are there to support you, and that's very important. A bunch of subject matter experts in the field. Now, with anything, you want to have companies that have the support structure for you, and that's something that's built in. So we have a sales support division, a marketing division, a compliance division, an HR division, a recruiting division that I currently run, contract and leasing, an IT division, as well as finance. So we're very well established. You're going to have a great support network if this was an opportunity you choose to discuss. Now, I think one of the biggest things in sales, and I know each of you, there's so many different great presenters that come onto Seven Eagle, talk a little bit about their opportunities. A lot of sales jobs are out there, right? And sales is one of those unique things where a lot of people are all dressed up with nowhere to go. That's a big thing in the sales field. Like, I'm ready to go, I've learned, but where am I going to talk to people from? Well, we actually own our own lead facility where we do about 2 million mailers a week out to potential clients. Those potential clients will receive this information, they'll hand fill it out and mail it back to us. Those are leads given to our agents at no cost to them. Those are investments from our company into you. That's very rare out there in the industry, is somebody that's going to invest in you and help you make money. And that's why our agents are doing so well, is they're getting people that are actually interested in our products, that are saying, hey, come out and talk to me, come out and help me, meet with me. And those are who our agents are talking to on a daily basis. There's other things that we have, what's called preset appointments. It's where you as a potential agent can have those appointments set for you. So really, you're just out talking to people and helping change lives every day. And this isn't something that is mandated, but it's another great option for you if you want somebody to help you set your appointments. Now, I know a lot of people in the military, we teach at NCO schools, staff NCO schools, right? We're professional development schools. We actually have tag retirement seminars where our professionals will get up and they'll speak to 40 to 50 attendees on any given time and talk about Medicare, talk about final expense insurance, talk about fixed annuities. And that's something that the company itself will set up for you, right? That another investment in how our company is going to invest in you as a potential agent to be able to be successful and how you're actually going to help touch a mass amount of people in a short amount of time. Now, here's our hierarchy. Everybody that comes in, like Meyoka, and she'll touch a little bit on it, starts as a field agent. You come in, you learn the industry, you learn the different products we have, but you have the potential to become a manager and run your own team someday. And most of our managers are making multiple six figures a year. So not only are you able to have a team fall under you, but you're able really to produce at a high level and develop people and help change other people's lives that are looking for employment. Now, these talks a little bit about our leaders because benefits are important. So our leaders have W-2 employment status where they're going to get paid health and leave. They're going to get life insurance, matching 401k, full medical benefits, weekly recoverable draws. So as you get promoted up more and more, you're going to have the ability to really be backed by the company. And this talks a little bit about the promotion path, and I won't get too much into it, but really the best thing to know about that with our company is that there's a very structured guideline to how you're going to get promoted. And I think throughout the time I'm in the military, I know I used to say to people, I don't know how that guy got promoted, or I don't know how that girl got promoted, right? You're going to know within our company how you're going to get promoted and move on up. It's crystal clear, right? You can see it. It's a guideline you're given. And if you're able to hit the marks, you're getting promoted up. It doesn't matter. As long as you're doing your job, you're going to get the promotion that goes along with it. And I think that's important for a lot of veterans to see. The other thing is, as you get promoted up and you start to run a team, the company will actually open an office for you. That's very unique. Most times companies, you're going to need $100,000 or above of capital to open your own office. The company is going to actually open an office for you. They'll furnish it for you. They'll pay for everything: paper, pens, pencils, paper clips, whatever it is you need. Our company is going to support you with that. And once again, a very unique opportunity that most people aren't going to have at any other company. We talk rewards and recognition. That is something that we do yearly. We have yearly trips for our agents who are doing extremely well. I think everybody likes to be recognized, even the ones that say they just want to do a good job and they don't. Our yearly trip this last year was to Dublin, Ireland. That was all expenses paid for our top agents in the nation. They were allowed to go with them and one guest. The company paid for flights, hotel room, provided a per diem while they were there. I mean, what other industries and company are really going to do that for you if you're a top performer? And so I'll cut off that slide there because really it's more about the opportunity for each of you. I sat in a room just like this, like each of you are. Meyoka sat in a room like this. Career is not for everybody, right? If you're not interested in talking to people every day, if you're not interested in being out there helping people, probably not a great career for you. If you're not interested in managing your own time, right? I hear from both sides. Being in the Marine Corps 22 years, I had Marines that were like, I can't wait to get out and manage my own time, be my own boss. And then I had others who were like, man, I've been in charge for so long. I just want to clock in and clock out. And that's it. I just want to be, show up at 8 and be home at 5. And if that's the kind of career you're looking for, that's great. No harm, to you. But if you're looking for a career that's going to allow you some flexibility, allow you to make multiple six figures, if you're actually looking for a career and not a job, that's where we come into play. And so people say they'll hear this, veterans will hear this, and it kind of sounds too good to be true, David. Like if it was so good and people were able to make multiple six figures a year after several years, why aren't more people doing it? Well, there's a couple of reasons. The first reason, you actually have to get your life and health insurance license. The great thing with that is for our veterans, and if you're in SkillBridge actively, we will get you that training for free, no cost to you. Now, if you are transitioning out, and let's say your EAS is next week, at that point, you would have to pay for the training, but it would be fully reimbursed when you come on with the company. So either way, it's for free, but either you're with us on SkillBridge or you're transitioning out. At that point, you're paying up front, but we're paying you back for it. The next thing is like I talked about, we're looking for people with the entrepreneur mindset that want to be able to control their time, want to make a great income, want to become a manager someday. So that's a person, great career field for you. If that's not who you are, maybe not a good career field for you. So I always like to touch on that because I think that there's somebody probably that's sitting here listening right now that was transitioning out, whether it's 4 years or 20 years, and you're not really sure what you want to do, but you want to help people. You want to make a great income. You want to be able to be at home for birthdays and holidays, which you haven't been able to experience prior. If that's the case, I would tell you to at least, set an appointment, meet with me, talk about this experience a little bit and see if this is a good job for you. And I know we still have some time, so I'd love to open up the floor to questions. And I'd love Meyoka if she was able to get on to talk a little bit about her training with the assurance group, what that's looked like for her so far. Because I think hearing from somebody that's actively doing it is also extremely beneficial. So Kylie, back over if there's any questions or if Meyoka's back on.
I know I have a couple. I have one for you, Dave, and I also have one for Meyoka, kind of talking about the training. For you, okay. I was wondering what kind of experience are you guys looking for in your veterans? Like what maybe qualities or experiences that they have?
It's really more qualities. Experiences ranges. I'll tell you that in January, I brought on an Army Special Forces individual who's getting out after 8 years, decided, hey, it's time for me to transition. No sales experience ever, just a hard charger, right? That was his job. And he was on track to make 150 this year. In his first year, after 8 months, we were looking at it and he's going to make 150. So no experience there. So no requirement, just somebody that was disciplined, wanted to work on their own and is good with people. So no matter the job you are in the military, we're really looking for somebody that likes to communicate with people because it's constant communication. A lot of veterans are like, well, I don't really like to talk to people. But then if you look at it, we talk to people all day, right? We don't have a choice. We're talking to our troops. We're talking to our seniors. You're talking to people all day. And that's just kind of what you do. So we're looking for people that are willing to talk to people, want to get out there, work in person. This isn't a remote job. Just speaking to the 60 and over community through their lives, they've interacted with people face to face. Not so much on Zoom, not so much on Google Meet. So we do all in-person sales. So somebody that's willing to travel a little bit and go out to residents is really our two big things that we look for. Everything else we can train you on.
Awesome. Thank you. And then for Meyoka, I'd like to talk more about the training, kind of what you're going through right now, what your day-to-day life looks like right now, kind of where you're at and all of that.
So because of my military history, I think we're a little bit more meticulous when it comes to training. So one of the things that I appreciate with the company is that they do have a website and it is filled with information. It's for all states. Is it paying? It's actually in all states. So the actual training itself, I log in to a website that they have. They have training there. And so I do a lot of training there. They also send agents to you to take you out to get some OJT. So I've gotten quite a bit of on the job training with the guys. But most recently, they created a course that's actually in residence, and I'll be the first one to attend it next week. Where they actually go over every single thing that the company has to offer, mostly final expense, but they're going to teach us, the ins and outs of all of their databases. They're going to let us see the home office and give us a little bit more buy-in into the company. But they do teach us in a manner that is very similar to the military, which is what I can appreciate.
Yeah, that'd be really nice. Losing that structure is hard, so.
Absolutely. And it's kind of like, I'd say with our jobs in the military, regardless of what you did, I worked with aircraft and people around aircraft. So safety was a big thing for me. So it was life, limb, or sight, right? But when it comes to insurance, it's also, I would almost say, not necessarily life, limb, or sight, but it is something that is very important and you want to be meticulous in that. So it is a career that is not difficult to grasp, but it is something that you do want to be knowledgeable on if you want to get into it. And I will tell you this, when he mentioned the 6 figures, oh my. So we are in different group meetings and we get a chance to see other agents and how well they do. We also are in weekly calls where agents who are more successful or who've been doing this for a while, they motivate the younger ones. So they'll try to, you can call someone. If you phone a friend is the big thing. It's like you can phone a friend. But I have seen agents who have worked with the company for a year and they're well over, well into the 6 figures. There are people who've worked at the company for 3 years who, there's one gentleman that we got a chance to see, his pay is he's sitting nice. He's sitting very nice. I don't want to put his business out there, but this gentleman's sitting real nice. But once I'm trained, I will be a 6-figure agent for sure. If you looked at the map that he provided, it shows you where we do have agents located. Some areas are not, don't have a lot of agents there. So of course, there are a lot of people to help. And when you're helping people, not only are you giving them that peace of mind, but you're also putting a peace of mind in your pockets as well. So that is something that to look at. And I know that a lot of people here probably have careers that they want to do. This is something to keep on the back burner if you're not 100% sold on it, or if you're having a hard time finding something in the area that you want to go to. This is a way to have a career that you can kind of set your own schedule to. You have the backing of a multi-million-dollar corporation, and they will make sure that you're successful. That is actually a lot of our sales directors, their job is to make sure that you're successful. And that's one thing that I'm not used to, is having someone call me just to make sure that, hey, how can I help you today? And that is the kind of culture that they have in TAG.
Wow, that's so cool. I have if anybody else has questions, you can raise your hand because I'll just keep asking. I was wondering about the certification. Is it available if you take it in New Jersey? Are you able to go to Michigan and still use it?
Absolutely.
Or do you have to?
Yes. So once you take your state certification, right, you can actually apply for a licensing as a non-resident, or if you're going to be relocating to another state. All you have to do is apply. Once you have your license in the state that you took your test in, you can actually get licensed in other states. So we have several agents that are pretty much licensed in almost every state. It's not a difficult thing to do, and it actually opens up opportunities. So if you were to PCS, or not just you guys, but if you have spouses who are looking for jobs, this would be a company that you could actually contact as well. Your spouse could have a job, if they're still moving around or you guys are still trying to figure things out.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I was just curious if it cost any money or anything, but that's awesome. Rob, do you have a question?
Yeah. Does it cut the sales? Does it come with leads, or how do you acquire that? like talking to the 60 plus year old community and finding the people you're selling to?
So one of the ways the leads are the paperwork that they fill out. The lead system is something that they send out, and it's basically saying if you're interested in any of the state benefits, because these are benefits for the states. Each state has a different set of rules, regulations that govern what they can and can't do in the state. So this is like the lead system. They send it out. They ask if they're interested in benefits, and we get the information to go out to those personnel and have conversation on what they were interested in when they fill it out. So it is something that they fill out, mail back to our company for us to be able to go out and see them for. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, great. That was awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks
The
for the
other
question,
thing,
Ron.
those are given free of charge to you. Some companies, they charge their agents for leads, and understandable why they charge their agent for leads. They get them from a third party. They have to pay for them. So, makes sense. But for us, we own our own lead facility. So those are given to our agents at no cost to them.
That's awesome. Hank?
I have a question about after not in the skill bridge, after skill bridge, how much you guys charge for the training courses or something like that?
I did mine after Skill Bridge, just so you're aware. So I actually couldn't find them for a couple months. So I did mine after. It was $45 after I reached out to David and his team. It was $45 to take the course. And the course isn't difficult. It is similar to our computer-based training. It's all online that we're all familiar with doing. It's just there's a lot more practice tests associated with it. You will have to get fingerprinted just to make sure that you're not a crook or a criminal after you pass the test, of course. And then you'll do just a state application for your licensing. But other than that, it's an easy process.
Wow, that was way cheaper than I thought it was going to be.
be.
Bailey, go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. I was just curious on what your day-to-days look like for both. You guys are in different places in the company, but what that looks like for both of you.
You want to go first, David, or you want me to go first?
You go first, because from an agent's view, I think that's
Okay, so
most important.
Absolutely. So my day-to-day, so I am still kind of in a training standpoint. So I'm still getting kind of trained. However, I am getting clients. So I am seeing clients while I'm in training. So my day-to-day is logging into the system, seeing if I have what they call B leads, which is not an A lead. So I go into there, look for B leads. I'll go and reach out to people and find out how I can help them. But it's all based off of my own personal schedule. So I am currently dealing with a personal situation. So I do everything around my medical appointments. While I was doing my VA stuff, I was actually doing things around VA appointments. It's not necessarily a set day for me. I set my day. And that is something I like, that flexibility of being able to set my day and making sure that I hit my targets. But during the day or during the week as well, my regional director, he actually reaches out to make sure that I'm okay and that I'm actually hitting my targets for the week. So yeah. Did I answer your question?
Okay. Then I'll answer a little bit on the general nature of agents across, and then, my day-to-day as well. So the general of what we're seeing is most agents are starting at any given about 9 or 10 in the morning that are working this, just in a structured day. Let's say there's no appointments for them medically. They have nothing with their kids that day. They're just like, hey, I'm going to get out there and work today. They're usually typically in the field at 9 or 10 in the morning. Leads, they're engaging leads in a various different ways. So some agents prefer to call their leads. So they'll call, set up appointments for the day, and throughout the day, they're out with people, with potential clients, talking about life and health insurance. Some other agents, like the one I was telling you from the Army that transitioned in, he loved to do what's called the door knocking approach. We see solar panel people that knock from door to door in the entire neighborhood, right? Nothing like that at all. So I always like to say that, because I don't want people to be like, hold on, I'm not walking through all these neighborhoods. But you're going to the residents who've requested info, because a lot of times they don't answer their phone. And you approach their house and you speak to them in person. And then at that point, typically you'll set appointments. And that'll range anywhere from, most agents are done 5 or 6 at night across the nation. Some will work a little longer, some will work shorter, kind of depending on how effective they are and what their day looks like. Most agents are working Monday through Friday is the typical. Some agents, when they get really savvy, they're working Monday through Thursday, 4 days a week, and they use a day as the admin day. Now, for me, in regards to what I do on a daily basis, I typically, if I'm not on a call like this talking to potential agents, veterans, I am interviewing people from, about 8 o'clock to about 5 p.m. My given time out on the West Coast. And I'm just sitting down and talking about the different experiences I have. As the VP of recruiting, I also check in on my recruiters daily, see how their interviews are going, and support any leadership meetings or any large scale events where I need to speak to people about our industry. And so that looks like pretty much on the daily what I'm doing. And I wanted to give you that general sense.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that you're able to kind of be flexible around anything that you have going on. I know a lot of these guys like Meyoka will have VA appointments and out processing and all kinds of stuff happening. So, Tim, what's up?
Hey, how's it going? So pay range, like as far as the agents, obviously commission and stuff has to do with that and work ethic. But what about other job opportunities within the company? Like if you're not looking to be an agent, are there other job opportunities that might have more of a fixed known income or something like that for project management, HR, that kind of stuff? And what are those kind of pay ranges?
So right now, we currently aren't hiring HR or any project managers. The pay ranges can't talk, really say because we're not actively hiring other than agents. I know we were just hiring somebody in the commissions realm, and they manage the commission structure. They're not active agents; they're a home office, and I believe that starting salary was 50 or 60 off the top of my head to start off, and that really ranges. And that was in North Carolina. So actively though, Tim, we're not hiring other than agents right now. We do hire. I partner as well with the Military Spouse Employment Program, MSEP, Blue Star Families. So I know when we have other opportunities as well, we'll put them out there or put them here as well if there's any HR jobs or anything. I always like to give you guys everything that we have available if there is something else.
Great, thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. To end it off, I'd like to ask you guys both one more question. And since you guys are both gotten out so recently, which is super helpful, I'd like to ask just one piece of advice that you'd like to give everyone here today, whether it's on the transition, after the transition, maybe a mistake that you made, just one piece of advice that you think would be helpful.
So for me, I am a mental health advocate. I am someone who is all about taking care of yourself, especially your mental health. So I would say give yourself grace, especially if you're retiring. This is something you're giving your entire life to. And just make sure that you're taking care of yourself. It is a transition. This is a life change. You may not even know what type of style you like, to be honest, because all you do is wear a uniform. I would say give yourself grace, allow yourself time to take care of yourself, and then go into the civilian sector and kick butt.
Yeah, I think that is wonderful advice. Mental health is huge, and I feel like a lot of us ignore it because we're trying to figure out how to get to the next step. So I love highlighting that. Dave, what do you have for us?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I could get better than that, but I would tell you that the other thing is outside of, taking care of yourself on all different facets is connections. Make connections, make connections, make connections. You never know who's hiring, who knows somebody that's hiring, and you really don't know what's out there and if it's going to fit you. So make as many connections as you can. Talk with people, bug people on LinkedIn, ask to just have drink a cup of coffee with them over the phone. Hey, you mind if we have a meeting? I'd just love to kind of pick your brain. I know you're a service member. And just meet as many people as you can, because truly those connections matter. I love to see veterans do better than we did while we were in service. And I think the way we get there is through our connections. Some of you, all of you have great experiences, great background. but sometimes it's the connections that help us get to the job that we're really looking for. So I would tell you that. I would leave you with that, is make as many connections as possible on these platforms. You never know who can take care of you.
Yeah, absolutely. We are huge on that. That's honestly what we're doing here every day. We're connecting with each other, we're connecting with you guys. So we really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for coming in and chatting with us.
Yes, please. And I just dropped my link. I know I dropped our LinkedIn's prior. If you're interested in maybe talking a little bit more about this opportunity, kind of exploring if it fits you or not. And we also offer what's called a ride day, where you'll go out with an agent and actually see in the day in the life of what we do.
Oh.
Non-committal. You don't need to say like, hey, this is what I want to do. It's more about, hey, let me go and experience and see if it's for me. Please set an appointment with me, and then we'll talk a little bit. And, like I said, you never know what's for you until you've tried it.
That is so cool. Everybody, if you wanted to contact them, put it in your end of day survey as well, and we will get you in contact with Dave and Meyoka. Thank you guys.